Good day to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the weather. Can you believe it's almost February? I can't. Or at least it is the day when I'm recording this anyway. It might even be February where you are now. Anyway, since I was talking about habit development over the last couple of weeks, I thought I'd take it one step further and give you a quote, a recipe. This came from Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. I've gotten a lot of information from him as well as other sources, but this was, I thought, in a sense, concise and actually easy for a lot of people. And it made sense to me to be able to help to teach other people how to do it. So I thought I'd discuss one of his methods of what he referred to as his particular recipe for developing a habit. We've talked about it before. Keep it short, keep it simple. But now we've got an actual little recipe that may make much more sense to you, which goes into, and I've got the information up there, that we're doing a habit recipe from BJ Fogg. But we start out with what you're doing is, in a sense, creating an anchor after I do something. So that if you're wanting to create a habit, we talked before about getting to starting to run in the morning, and I used the example of laying out the exercise clothes. So what you would have here for part of your recipe would be after I put on my clothes, I will, and then what you're going to do, and then you celebrate. Now, the whole thing here is to keep it simple and to keep it very easy to do. So one of the examples he used, Dr. Fogg used, was learning to, or getting in the habit of flossing his teeth. And so he would say something like, after I brush my teeth. So he hooked it up with something that he was already doing, in this case, brushing his teeth. And so then he says, okay, all I'm going to do is floss one tooth, just one. I don't have to do the whole mouth. I don't have to do anything else, just one tooth. He says, I can do this. And then he would celebrate. And so that's the key. You've got to, in a sense, congratulate yourself. You've got a pleasurable hormone in your head that's called dopamine, if any of you have ever heard about it. And when you've got a lot of dopamine in your head, it tends to make you feel better. And so when you celebrate, you're creating that dopamine, which associates some pleasure with whatever behavior you just did. So in this particular case, he's trying to give himself a little pleasure for flossing the tooth. And so he's just, doing an arm pump or some such thing like that. Doesn't have to be big, just a simple arm pump, or just an I did it or some such thing like that. Whatever might be simple, depending on where you are. If you've got a household of people and you don't want to yell because you're going to wake them up, whatever is going to work for you. So that if you continue to do this, in this particular case, given the example of using the flossing the tooth, all you do is you've got your recipe. It's after I will, and then I celebrate. Or this way, if you can see all of it. So the idea is to just fill in the blanks, so to speak, with some specific small behavior that you're trying to do. Make it small, and then you can build on it. So you could see, given the flossing example, that if he managed to floss one tooth, then he could say, after I floss one tooth, I will floss the second tooth. Gives him a little celebration for that, and it goes on, and ultimately it does get to the point that he flosses all of his teeth, which is basically the end goal. But he's also recognizing the fact that if he tries to say, I'm going to just floss all of my teeth, it's somewhere along the line, it's not going to happen. So he says, I can at least do one tooth. That's it. That's all I'm asking myself to do, just one tooth. So if you take the same attitude of doing one small thing, and I used before, just laying out the clothes to go exercise, sooner or later, you'll put them on and then you'll go outside. And then, you don't even have to run. Just put on your clothes, go outside, might even come back in, or put on your running shoes, go outside, come back in. Go outside and walk down to the mailbox if you have a mailbox on the street or something like that. Not asking you to go out and, run a 5K or anything else like that. It's just basically trying to get you into the habit of taking small steps to get from where you are now to where you want to be. Yes, I know, and I repeat, this seems like you're going to take you forever. But I ask you again, you want to take forever, or do you want to actually do it? Because if you're still thinking about doing something now, starting a particular habit, that means you have not done it. So if you've got all those years that you've been thinking about doing it and you haven't done it, taking forever is at least getting you in the position that you're making progress toward wherever it is you want to go. So in his particular case, he learned how to, or developed the habit of, he didn't learn how to floss his teeth, he already knew, but he developed the habit of flossing his teeth by starting with one tooth. And it didn't take as long as he thought it would either. So if you just start getting in the habit of doing something small, maybe you need to get in the habit of, say, cleaning the kitchen before you leave for work in the morning, perhaps, or leave for school or whatever. After I put the dishes in the sink, I will wipe down the counter or something along that line. You're not saying that you're going to completely clean the whole kitchen. You're just going to do one thing, like wipe down the counter. You get that in the habit, and then you start building on from there. I hope this makes sense, and I hope this helps. Let me know, and we can continue with the habit development if you wish, or I could go on to something slightly different, but I'd like to see some feedback as to whether somebody's thinking that this was helpful or not. If you have any questions, again, what you may want to, you can either ask me, or I'll plug the book again, Tiny Habits, the small changes that change everything, because it makes sense to me. It seems simple, and it seems like it's something that's easy enough for most people to do. It doesn't require a major therapist. You don't have to get out and get, a coach and spend gobs of money. You just do something simple. So I hope this was helpful. If it helped you and you think it might help somebody else, please refer them. Then do come and check out, my website, and take a look at older students can learn new skills and see if there's something I can help you with there. And do check out the Facebook group. I would really appreciate it. So I hope that's helpful, and we will chat with you next week. Bye.